There you go. That's the bait of choice. Smallmouth bait of choice right there. That's what you're trying to match the hatch. All right, guys, thanks for clicking on this video. Today's video is going to be about the top baits to mimic gobies. Stay tuned, it's coming up. Alrighty, y'all, Lou here from Beyond the Bounds. This channel geared towards bass fishing, gear reviews, tournament footage. So if you like that sort of thing, click that subscribe button down below. Let's get into today's topic, which is talking about some of these top baits for mimicking gobies. Now, as you may know, you may be fishing a tournament that is on a goby infested water, like the St. Lawrence, Thousand Islands, things like that, some of the Great Lakes. And I want to give you a few recommendations for baits that really do well mimicking gobies. I've got a lot of experience up there on Thousand Islands and some of these northern lakes. So, you know, these are the baits that I've found that have worked well, and some of the colors that I've seen work well, and kind of how those work during different parts of the day. For instance, you're going to want to start off with kind of a darker green pumpkin color earlier in the morning. That bite seems to wear off later on in the afternoon, so you need to go with something that's got a little bit more translucent bottom to it, and that's where, you know, a bait like this X-Zone or a Gajo baits. I don't have, you know, a Gajo baits package, but they're pretty much the exact same bait. So what you have here is a great profile for a goby, a little goby fish. Let's get into these. Number one, by all means, is going to be the PowerBait. I mean, these things are selling out. These things accommodate for 20-pound bags easily on 1,000 islands and so forth. And what you'll need to get is the flatworm or the flat-nosed minnow. Both of those will be the best presentation for this. They're a very small profile. Again, experiment with different colors. This is the green pumpkin, but they also make a few other ones like a goby color actually. And, you know, look into that, purchase some of those, purchase some black. You know, I'll drop links for those down in the description for all of these products, so you can find them on Tackle Warehouse. But again, number one is going to be the PowerBait by Berkley Max Scent. Another one would be the Gulp Alive. You know, I'll throw that one out there too, because that's a really good one, something that's soaked in that scent. Really good presentation for those northern smallmouth, especially on a drop shot. These are all going to be geared towards drop shot presentations too. Next on the list, and because I'm a missile baits fanatic, you know, I throw everything from the D-bomb to the destroyer, is going to be the missile baits bomb shot. This is a pretty incredible new bait that they've come out with the smallmouth angler in mind. Now, you know, something like this is going to work well when your fish are feeding on a smaller presentation of a bait. A lot of time they're feeding on such small fry and minnows and shad that, you know, you really need to downsize to get that bite. And that's where these missile baits bomb shots are really going to be crucial for that. You know, another thing, you know, I've caught a mess of crappie on these guys before too. So these are not just all smallmouth. Matter of fact, majority of these baits are going to work well across all waters. But really what I'm designing this video for is to be a goby representation, and they have some great green pumpkin and different colors that, and a goby color that will mimic gobies. So next on the list is going to be this X-Zone lures. It's a great presentation for mimicking gobies, and what I like about it is the translucent bottom. Like I said, you know, because what'll end up happening as that sun gets high and the clarity of the water peaks, the fish are going to be able to see more, and so that's when you transition to something like this, which has a very natural look. Now again, I'm going to plug Gajo baits in there too, because it's basically the same profile, and while this is a little bit longer of a profile, I'd actually go with the smaller size. Again, all of that will be linked down in the description below. And the other reason I'm making this video is because there's a lot of like just different baits out there, and I want somebody who's going to go to one of these smallmouth dominated fisheries like 1,000 Islands or the Great Lakes to have some great baits in mind that you can throw with confidence. So maybe experiment with the different sizes in these, get the 4-inch and the 3-inch, because the fish are really feeding on different sizes, and it really helps to have those different presentations to adapt when that's the case. All right, guys, another couple of honorable mentions that will absolutely get the job done and will help you catch numbers out there too, especially if you're on one of those points that's got just loaded with smallies, you know, the real small guys and stuff like that. But, you know, a Zoom centipede, always a great presentation on a drop shot. This is one of my favorite presentations there is, whether it be a tiny Texas rig, a Mojo rig, on a drop shot, wacky rigged on a drop shot, the little zoom centipede, guys, is worth having in your tackle box. I can't stress that enough, the amount of things that you can do with this. And when it's a finicky bite, or when they've seen every, you know, long, big worm, small worm, whatever, come by, having a zoom centipede to throw them a little French fry snack, you know, they might not want the hamburger, but they'll eat the French fry. All right, guys, last on the list, and definitely worth having in your tackle box, is the Shad Impact 3-inch. This is a great drop shot minnow. It's gonna really perform well and get a lot of good action in there, but not over action or anything. Sometimes you definitely don't want over action to where you've got enough of the water and the wind and the current to drive that action. You don't need a ton of action, but this guy, he looks really good on a drop shot, let me tell you. You know, experiment with that, maybe experiment with different colors in this guy too as well. Go with more of a natural minnow, you know, so that will help you get more bites when that sun gets up. Now guys, I'm sure there are plenty of things that I left off of this list. I mean, there are a ton of different imitations. These are kind of my like picks and go-tos and the things that I've seen win tournaments over these past couple years, especially up on these northern lakes that are dominated by an infestation of gobies. And finally, guys, I think one of the things every video of this kind of topic needs is a real quick talk about gear. And for this presentation, for a drop shot presentation, you can see I got the Berkley on here right now, the flatworm. What I'll be using is the Pro TI series by Lose, and that's going to be equipped with a 3000 series. A 2000 series in any of the rods or reels are like a 200 or a 300 in some of the other manufacturers, but you know, this TLC 3000 pairs really great with this rod, and this one in particular is a medium fast action. That's going to allow that rod to load up and help you fight those fish so that it's not overpowering, so that when they jump, it doesn't release too soon and throw the hook. Because these guys are going to be jumping, you need some of that bend to fight those fish when they're surging, and you need it to release a little bit slower when they're jumping. So, which makes anything with a moderate action also a good option as well. But this is the Team Lose Speed Stick Pro TI model rod. It's fantastic, excellent sensitivity. Cannot recommend it enough. And one of the things I've been very impressed with is this grip area, which is all a custom wind grip that cinches down on the reel and makes this a very comfortable holding rod. Guys, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video about Goby presentations. Check the links down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. As always, don't back up, don't back down. We'll see you around. Today's video is gonna be this is all these waves to go by. Struggles of YouTube angler. Let's try that again. He looks really good on a shaky head. Oh.